macronutrients. It's a very big business, the idea of macronutrients. We call it processed food. Now, I'm not someone who's anti-processed food. You won't hear me talk negatively about processed food, because I think that in today's world, with 8 billion people on this planet, there is a place for food that can be stored, shipped, and available to people who can't afford it at a lower price. So I'm actually not anti-processed food. What I am anti is people's personal decisions to only live on processed food. And I'm anti that not because I'm saying they're bad people. I'm saying let's inspire, let's educate, let's entertain people so they can understand what they're missing out on down here in this category, which is the plant food. So when you have macronutrients, think about it like a movie set. You know, when the Academy Awards are on, for example. Who sits in the front row of the Academy Awards? The stars, right? All the stars, right? Like Brangelina's there, and Sandra's there, and George is there. They're all there, right? The stars. Brad, they're all there. We have all these stars, and what happens is that all the people that are like got all the money, the ones that own the studios, the ones that actually write the scripts, the ones that are actually the geniuses, they're like 3/4 of the way back in the room. They're like in the background, aren't they? Like the people who do the makeup, the people who do the special effects, people who do the lighting, the sound, they're all the ensemble cast. They're all those awards that happen halfway through. Everyone switches off and goes over to The Walking Dead and watches that for an hour, then comes back to see the stars towards the end, right? Well, I want you to think about that our nutrition, like the stars, are the macronutrients. The protein, the sugars, the fats, the carbohydrates, the salts. They're the stars. That's what we all know about. But down here in micronutrient world, that's the ensemble cast. Tens of thousands of different little cast members that are absolutely critical to make the movie or to make nutrition work. And you just can't focus on the stars. We've got to focus on the whole landscape. And so, how many people here think food or think of food as fuel? I've got to put fuel into my body. A lot of athletes think this way. I need to put the right fuel in. Okay? So I used to think that. If I was here maybe a year ago and having a talk with you, I would have been talking about let's get the right fuel into our to you. But through the advent of now the popularity of my movies, I'm able to get in to see some really smart, intelligent, bright people, far smarter than I'll ever be, who explain really complex stuff to me, which I then take away and go, how can I share that with people so you understand it better? And so one of the things I've learned in the last 8 months is that if we look at food as fuel, we're getting programmed like that because macronutrients are the fuel part, okay? So the macronutrients, the sugar, the fat, the salt, the carbohydrate, the protein, that's the fuel. So yes, you can live on that and you can get lots of fuel from your body from processed food. It will keep you alive. If you're on a desert island and you've got just water and nothing else, or a McDonald's, I'm eating at McDonald's every day because I want to get fuel onto my body to stay alive. If I just drink the water, there will come a stage where I will use up all of the fat, all of the muscle on my body, and my body will start to self-digest its own organs, and that'll be dying of starvation, which can happen roughly for the average person, of average weight, about 290 to 300 days of no food. It's a long time before you will die of starvation. It's a long, long time. We tend to think we can only go without food for a couple of weeks or a month. We can go a long, long, long time. And if you are 320 pounds like I was when I was my 40th birthday, probably could go 2 or 3 years, okay? Because essentially my body was like protecting me, it was looking after me, it was saying, Joe, don't worry, I've got you covered. When that famine hit Sydney, you'll be the last man standing. That's essentially what was going on. Right, but now, if we go back to this idea of food is fuel, see, the macronutrients, the stars of the show, the ones that are marketed to us, we think that because that's what we hear, okay? But the reality is that over here in the plant world, the tens of thousands of micronutrients, phytochemicals, zoochemicals, vitamins, minerals, particular types of acids, like phenolic acid, all these lists. I mean, I can't even name some of them. They've got letters that are like 30 letters in the name, how long these are. And they're discovering new ones every day. They're still discovering new ones in plants. They are not fuel. It is not fuel. You cannot live on that alone. If we extracted out the sugar, the carbohydrate, if we extracted out the fat from avocados, if we took all of that out and just left all the phytonutrients, all the vitamins and minerals, that wouldn't fuel you. That wouldn't actually give you energy to move. You understand?
Yeah.
What that is information that enables your cells, all 4 trillion of them, to function properly. You see, we weren't here, well, let me rephrase that. Plants were here before us. I believe in evolution, okay? A lot of people believe that way, but some people believe in creation, okay? Now, I respect both opinions. But in both stories, plants were here before us, okay? So we can't argue that plants lived on this planet before us, and we came afterwards. Now, what has made us the most successful species on this planet? Nothing is more intelligent, higher, more powerful, stronger than us. We're it, number one. So what has made us that? What have we done? We've put 3 things into our body over time that has enabled us to live and survive. Air, water, and food. Air? Anyone choose their air today without putting into their body? Nope. We're all sharing the same air. Everyone's sharing the same air. What about water? The H2O. Which I haven't got here. Amanda, can we get a bottle of water, please? Oh, it's here. Look how quick she is. Look at that. So, water, H2O. Well, they package it and they bundle it and they, mark it up and they do all sorts of things with it. But at the end of the day, there's 2 hydrogen atoms and an oxygen atom formed together to create a molecule, H2O, which is water. And you really can't change that. Okay? Like, air and water, we're all basically having the same off. When we come to food, well, hang on, now we're talking different. Food, what we've lived on mostly on this time on the earth. If I was to ask you how old you are, so you'd tell me you are?
40.
40. What does 40 mean? What does 40 mean? Like, you hear a number. Someone's 48, someone's 22. What does it mean? What does 40 mean?
How long you been?
It means how long what?
How long you been?
Well, what does that mean? Like, if I came from another planet and said, what does 40 mean? Or not another planet, another solar system. I came from another galaxy. And I said, what does this 40 mean? Means what?
How many years you been alive?
Yeah, but what's a year? So you see how we always get to this thing about time? See, time is like, it's a relative thing, right? So really what a time is it's 40 laps around the sun. It's distance. When you're 40, that means you've been in existence for our planet to go 40 times around the sun. If you're on Jupiter, you'd be 7. Because that's how long it would take for 40 of those, because it's further out to get around. Right? So yeah, let's all move to Jupiter. So this idea of time, of this number, it's a very, like, when we think 40 or 60 or 80 or 100 is old, we think these things, like, particularly when, what's your name? Hello?
Rosie.
Rosie? How old are you, Rosie? 4. See, when you're 4, 47 is ancient. Like, you're an old man. It's like, you can't even think about it. But when you're 47, you don't feel that way, do you? Right? So when you think about how long